Are you an indie author who has written a book and put it up for pre-order or already published it? This is USA Today best-selling dark fantasy author Katherine D. Graham, and today we're going to talk about how to add a new book that you wrote to your author profile on Goodreads. If you don't know what Goodreads is, or you're not familiar with how to use the platform as an indie author in general, this video is not going to do a big overview, but you can see my entire how to use Goodreads as an indie author video in the description box below. I'll leave the link for you there. I'm super excited though, because I get this question all the time. And while I do go over how to add books in that big video, sometimes it gets lost because there's just so many features to Goodreads. In short, Goodreads is a platform that allows readers to find new books, see what books their friends are reading, keep track of the books they're reading, and leave honest reviews for those books for other readers, which the authors, of course, can also see. As a Goodreads author, though, it's very important that the books that you've written are tied to your profile. Yes, you can wait for your book to come out and be out for a few months and let somebody else add it to Goodreads for you. But if you do that, you're going to have a little bit of a harder time getting it added to your profile, because you then have to go into author forums and ask librarians to assign it to your name and all of that. When it is super easy, as you're about to see, it only takes a couple minutes to add a brand new book that you put up for either pre-order or released to your author profile itself. So let me share my screen right here. Here's the Goodreads homepage, and we'll get right in. First things first, you will need a Goodreads account in order to do this, and not just any account, an author profile. Check out my first video to see how to do that. Once you have one, you will sign in, go to your little bubble up on the top, and click Author Dashboard. Here we are. This dashboard should show all the books that you have written and tied to your account on Goodreads. So I've got 3 pages worth. It also shows you overview of things like ratings and all of that we're not getting into today. So to add a new book, at the top on the right hand side, if you're on desktop, you're going to hover over to where it says add a book. Whoa, I highlighted way too much. Sorry, everybody. And then you're going to click add a book. This is the same metadata that you need to fill out here that you put in when you set up your book on Kindle, on Draft to Digital, on Ingram, however you created it. So the title, in this case, we're doing one for my new pre-order that I just launched yesterday, Chronicler of War, which is the Lord's Gambit series. They have a special way for doing that. Let me rephrase myself. The Lord's Gambit series number 4. To keep your book from getting dinged for anything, please follow their format, which you can see on the screen right here that popped up in yellow. The sort by title needs to start with the first word that's not the or an or a. So in this case, chronicler is the first word, so nothing really changes. It's the same title as above. Then your author name should automatically be filled there if you went in through your author profile to do this. If you did not, because anybody can technically add a book to Goodreads to my knowledge, or at least as of January 2023, they can, even a reader, you would need to find the author if you are not the author, like a small press. Then you'll need to add either the ISBN or the ASIN. If you don't know what that is, an ISBN is the number that is assigned to your book for print usually, or occasionally ebook if you're not on Amazon, to tie the publisher of the book to the book details. These are bought in the US through Bowker. If you're going through another agency outside of the US, those would be assigned to you through them. You can also take advantage of free ISBNs and free Amazon ASINs, as long as they are only on the platforms that gave them to you, typically. So like Barnes & Noble will give you one free, or Draft to Digital will give you one free. In this case, because Chronicler of War is both available on Kindle and on other platforms, I'm going to have to fill out this twice. Not add a new book twice, just go through this screen twice, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Publisher, since this is a self-published title, will be my name. If you're going through a small press, or you're going through an indie press or a hybrid press or something like that, you would put that there. The publisher is not the retailer. Just because you are publishing it on KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing through Amazon, or Draft to Digital, or Ingram, does not make them the publisher. They are distributors or retailers, depending on which one you're talking about. You or your company that you're signed with are the publisher. This book is coming out 2023. It's a pre-order. Yes, this does work for pre-orders as long as it's already listed. The pre-order has to be up. So this is coming out in 2023 on April 11th. Congratulations, readers who didn't know that yet. It is about 400 pages long. This is the Kindle edition. So format means the type of book. And earlier when I said I'd have to come back and do this for more than once, I meant because Nook has its own paperback, hardcover, audiobook. Every edition will be added as a alternate version under the first book you make. It does not matter which version you create first. I'll say that again for anybody new. It does not matter whether you do the paperback first or the Kindle first or the Nook first. It doesn't affect anything. So the ASIN is what Amazon uses instead of ISBN numbers. You can get that by clicking on the book in your KDP and scrolling over to the right, and you'll see ASIN underneath the book details. So now we've got our title, author, ASIN, publisher, year published, month and date, number of pages, Kindle edition. Now, if this is a pre-order and your final pages changes, please don't forget to come back in and correct the number of pages so that you don't have a potential ding later on for this author put in incorrect page amount. That's really important. Then you need to add in your description, which I just pulled off of a side. I think this description should be the back cover blurb or whatever description you used on Draft to Digital, Ingram, Amazon, Barnes & Noble for the book. And it's optional to put an edition here, but I always put first edition on the first printing of something, first run. So here is that. No, there is no formatting here. If you have bold and italics, they will not carry over into Goodreads. Do not put book reviews here. Do not put editorial reviews here. Do not put spoilers here beyond the blurb that you've listed elsewhere. They say all of this in the orange box. Don't put a review here. Just put the description. Gonna scroll down a little bit more. This edition is written in English. You will have to select an edition language. They have all the different languages, tons and tons for you to pick from. Yay. And mine is in English. You do not need to change anything in work settings unless this is a rebranded work. So if you have rebranded your title and the content is more or less the same, maybe you gave it an editing touch up, maybe you introduced a couple new side characters or even a couple new chapters, but ultimately it's the same book, you would put the original title and publication dates here, as well as any awards that you got for that original title. This is mostly, in my experience, to help the librarians. Now, if you're a Goodreads librarian that's watching, I'd love to know why this is a separate section because I don't see it publicly anywhere. If you're not, but you still know why, you could go ahead and drop that in as well. Now, you might think we're done here. We're not. Wait 1 second. We're almost done. The last thing we have to do is add a cover image. This little spot over on the right-hand side gets overlooked all the time. Now, if you overlook it, don't worry. I have a way you can go back and fix it. I'll show you in just a second. But if you have it, it's great to just go ahead, click in here, find your series, find your cover, and upload your cover so that you have a pretty cover photo next to your book. All right, so make sure everything is filled out correctly. Come down and click Create Book. And it's going to think for a second here. There it is. There's the book page. The reason it needs that ASIN number is so that if you click buy on Amazon, it's not going to share for you. It will take you directly to the Amazon page, is what it did. But yeah, so here it is, Chronicler of War. Here's the description you guys saw me type in. The fact that this is a Kindle edition. Expected publication is automatically filled in. Once it goes live, it will change to publication date. And then your estimated number of pages. From there, if you're an author and you made a mistake, you can click Edit Book Details if you're the one who created the book. So it's important that you not created the book as in you wrote it, but created it here in Goodreads like we just did. If you're not, if somebody else beat you to it and you're finding your books, you have to get it moved to your author profile, assigned to your author profile, and then you can click Edit Book Details, which we're going to do. And there it is, right here. You see my cover on the right-hand side? Well, that would be blank, and it would say Upload Photo, and that is where you could upload your photo. You can also go in here to correct the number of pages after the launch, or if the launch date moves for any reason, you can do that there. So I'm going to go back. If you need to add multiple editions, Chronicler of War is the 4th volume in the Lord's Gambit series, and this series is wide, which means it's available on Kobo and Barnes & Noble and Apple Books and all that stuff. Then you can go down here to Show Editions, Show All Editions, and click Add New Edition. You don't want to start over with Create a New Book. You want to add a new edition. And what that does, as you see here, is it creates a new edition with everything copied, except you still have to reload the new cover over here on the right-hand side. And you still have to find and put in the new ISBN or ASIN and publication info for publisher and date and number of pages. And make sure that you select, for example, in this case, Nook, the new edition. And when you're done, you'll save it and it will add that. Mine is still in the process of publishing to the non-Amazon sites. So I'm going to show you this on The Vow That Twisted Fate instead. That is my debut epic fantasy that already has multiple editions, including an audiobook and a Spanish version. So if I go down here to The Vow That Twisted Fate and I scroll down to more editions, you can see my audiobook with its beautiful audiobook cover. You can see the Nook book. You can see the hardcover book, hardbooker book, and the Kindle version all right there. Easy to click on and grab for readers. And once your book is up, as you see here, people can mark that they want to read it, which will show not just them, but anybody who is friends or follows them that they are wanting to read your book, which gets more eyes on your book. They can mark that they're currently reading it. They can mark it as read. When they're done reading, they can put up their reviews, their honest reviews here, which other people can then read. So that is how you add a book to Goodreads. If you've done this before and you have a tip for how to do it faster or how to do it differently, please let me know. And if you have questions or comments, leave them in the comment box. I will definitely be happy to reply to them. Stay tuned to my channel over the next few days. We will be releasing more indie author live chats, tools, and tips, as well as an indie author editing panel to talk about editing options for indie authors. This is in the beginning of February 2023. There's an entire indie author behind the scenes playlist, though, that gives you tools and tips for how to publish your book. So subscribe to see them all. Thank you for sharing the journey and have a great day.